first.
Okay, so Swimlands, I feel like I don't know, last week was crazy and the week before was, I don't remember it.
I was working on getting like the UI for the story.
Not
Okay.
talking about training, I'm talking about,
Is that something you guys can help with?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to be focusing more on terrain and like fixing
Yeah.
fixing
Yeah,
stuff
I
and
see.
getting into new pieces.
maybe you guys can work on that together in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we decide what we want to do with that yet? Like what happens
Yes,
when you die?
we did weeks ago, and I need to find where we wrote it down.
I don't remember what we decided.
Nobody knows what happens when you die. Happy Badger Studio is a small local game development studio here in St. Louis. We started about 4 years ago, and we've got about 5 people on the team right now. We started out by doing just small mobile games, mostly casual games, all digital, and we are now working on our very first console title for the PlayStation 4 and also Steam. So we're going to be releasing Smugglecraft sometime in 2016 for PC, Mac, Linux, and PS4.
So some friends of ours were working in games, but not really getting very far with the company that employed them. So we suggested that they start their own thing, and we can kind of help out with marketing and production and some of the other little bits that go into it. So we worked on several games together. We launched at least one of those, and after some time, I think they lost interest, had other things going on, so eventually they all kind of dropped out and we took it over, and that was Happy Badger. So from that point on, we've been making games underneath the Happy Badger moniker.
Before Happy Badger started, Carol and Ben and I were already working as a web design studio, so I had acquired kind of some skills in that realm, so it was just a natural fit when we decided to do Happy Badgers, to all do it together. I've always been interested in art and like any way that I can create something, so any outlet for that is great. So I actually went to school for interior design because that was kind of the creative direction that I was heading, and then once we got into web work here and that led us into other kinds of design, it's just completely broadened my horizons as far as design goes.
I was a kid, I was 14 years old, and I was dabbling in private servers for games, and I learned Java, and I got really into it. And for hours and hours of my life, I'd stay up 10 o'clock in the morning working on this private server for a game and had a lot of fun with it. And then I kind of transitioned into doing like ActionScript and Flash games and just carried from there. I met these guys at an anime convention 4.5 years ago. They were at a booth, you know, talking to people, handing stuff out, and I found out they're doing development, and I was really interested in it. And I talked to them and started doing like side stuff, and my very first application I ever made was a ramen timer on Android, and that was like my first test at actually doing like development for someone. And once everything worked out well, that's how I got on.
I kind of bridge the gap between art and programming. I do like particle effects, like tweaking shaders, making them look good, like playing with color and all that. So yeah, pretty much anything to make it pretty. Before finding the Badgers and like the whole St. Louis game development community, like it was kind of like, it felt really isolated being a game developer because I was just like, I didn't know anyone in my area who did the same thing. Like the only people I knew were on Twitter who were like on another continent pretty much. I was just like, does anyone like around me do this? But one day I just Googled St. Louis game developers, and so yeah, I found like this whole vast community of people doing the same thing, and I was just like, whoa, this is kind of really awesome. And so like I finally went to one of the meetups and met the Badgers, and like that turned out awesome.
Smugglecraft is essentially a procedurally generated hovercraft racing game in which you play as a smuggler, and you get to choose who you want to smuggle for. and based on those choices that you make, you can have some kind of impact on your world. So there's a whole single-player side with this branching narrative that explores those decisions, and then of course there's multiplayer, both local and online, because it's a racing game, so you want to play against human opponents at some point. I like driving games, I like racing games, but I'm not into like super realistic Forza type stuff. I like Crazy Taxi, and I think the shortcoming of racing games is that it's always this circular track. You're always driving in circles, or you're just driving the same set of tracks over and over again, and there's also no story whatsoever. It's always like story mode, become the champion, which isn't a story at all. So I thought if we could create a racing game that was more interesting than Forza and had procedural tracks, so you never get to just learn the track. It's more about adaptability than it is about memorization. And then on top of that, create this branching narrative, so you actually have a reason to be racing instead of just like winning some trophy or something.
Ben definitely had a vision for what the world would be like, so he started with some like inspirational images of the style of art that he had in mind and the different kinds of maybe movie inspirations. We played a lot of like Star Wars stuff for planet type. So that was where we got the inspiration. It was just like a folder full of images, and then I kind of thought about it for a while and just kind of went from there.
I am so excited that it's going to be on PlayStation. Like, all my friends are excited, and they I hear friends like, oh my gosh, it's going to be on PlayStation, that's so awesome. And I'm like, I feel the same way, it's so cool. It's kind of like, as a kid, I had always wanted to make games, and seeing that coming into play and it being a reality for me, and being on one of these consoles that I like, or a company that I grew up playing games on their console, and like one of my games is going to be on their console, is really awesome.
What I really love is when people play multiplayer and they're both terrible at it and die consistently, and they still love it, and they're like, yes, that was so awesome. No one gets frustrated, well, not no one, but people enjoy it even when they're bad at it, so that's been really exciting to see. If Smugglecraft is successful, I definitely want to do more console games, but I'm open to really anything.